Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Good day. When we have our friends in from the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, David Perez is the North County General Manager. How you doing, David?
Doing pretty well, and yourself?
Good. How long have you been with the food bank?
I've been with the food bank 4 years in July.
4 years in July. Where were you before that?
Well, I was at home with my son during COVID time for his first year of his life. I worked in hospitality before,
nice,
and then recreation.
Very good. So you're at the food bank. Good. How you doing, Julie? Julie Moore's Director of Corporate Partnerships.
Yes, great. I'm doing great. Thank you.
How long have you been with that food bank?
Just over a year.
Where were you before? You were somewhere.
Another well-known San Diego place that takes care of animals and plants, known as the San Diego Zoo.
Oh, very, very nice. Okay, very, very, very good. So we'll start with you on this, David. We know food insecurity is huge. It amazes me, and maybe you can address, both of you can address this, how many people in San Diego have no clue that food insecurity is a big issue. I'll start with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people think of food insecurity or nutrition insecurity is, just a global problem, but it is a local problem here in San Diego. It affects hundreds of thousands of San Diegans right here in our city. Yeah,
and it's interesting because the look of somebody who is food insecure is very different than it was 25 years ago, and we all know this. And certainly it's growing. We all know there's some decisions that are coming in a different part of the country that is going to be challenging. And I really encourage people who are listening to this interview, do everything you can to support these food banks, because it's a real thing. And anybody who has been in that space, and if you haven't been in that space, just think about when you've been hungry for whatever reason. Yes, you may have food there, but try doing that every day. And not knowing when your next meal is coming from. That is traumatic, is it not, Julie?
It is traumatic. And I know that David works very closely with our Food for Kids backpack program, where he is really working and talking to teachers, principals, counselors, students who benefit from the program. So David, I don't know if you can elaborate more on the faces of those people facing hunger, our kids.
Yeah, definitely. I think, in regards to our Food for Kids backpack program, we serve 3,700 elementary school students every single weekend through this program throughout the city and county of San Diego. We are in 93 schools across 23 school districts. They're our neighbors, I'm from San Diego, so it's very personal for me. They're our neighbors, they're our kids, this is our community. And the San Diego Food Bank is doing something about nutrition security, especially with children.
And as we talk about this many, many times, whenever we got some superintendents on and we got anyone that's dealing with youth, you cannot learn when you're hungry. You can't do a lot of things when you're hungry. I don't care if you're a youth or not in this area. So that's a great program as well. But you got a big gig coming up. Your 13th annual Gala. I've been to it. It is a lot of fun. Anyone who goes to it, be ready to have fun. So talk about that, David. Or you can talk about it, Julie.
I can start.
Or someone's got to talk about it.
Yeah. It is coming up May 3rd. Hard to believe we're already coming up on May. Held on the grounds of our 90,000 square foot Miramar facility. It's a very elegant outdoor event in the evening, live music, typical fabulous silent and live auction items, specialty hors d'oeuvres prepared by renowned local chefs. We also have a nice, delicious dinner. Some of our chef partners are from Kitchens for Good, the Cone Restaurant Group, UCSD Culinary Services. So lots of top-notch chefs will be there making some really yummy food. Definitely a night to remember under the stars. And the event proceeds benefit the Food for Kids backpack program and our operations.
Yeah, and anybody who has been to this, you transformed that warehouse into, this thing was a warehouse yesterday?
Yeah.
My goodness. You do a spectacular job on that. And I appreciate it. You raised quite a bit of funds, which is really important to that. And I encourage those who cannot make it, because you sell out every year, and if you haven't sold out, get those tickets now, because they'll be gone and all this aspect of it. But talk a little bit about, you mentioned something earlier, David, that's critical. You just don't distribute food. It's nutritious food. And we all know that we have a little issue in this country, and that's called obesity. Childhood obesity is huge, and which is going to turn into diabetes, and it's going to crush our health system if we not do something about it. We'll start with you on this, David. Talk about the importance of the nutritious value of the food that you guys distribute.
Yeah, so I think too, the common words are food insecurity, but it's been changed to nutrition insecurity because sometimes people do have food to eat, but it may not be the most nutritious. Specifically talking about our Food for Kids backpack program, we take time to really choose what are in our backpacks to make sure that they fit a certain standard, but at the same time still being enjoyable by the students who benefit from the program.
Right. So when did you folks integrate with the Jacobs Cushman? That was how many years ago?
So in 2015 is when we started in North County. That was before my time. I've been only 4 years.
Right.
But we really started to come together, more synergy as an organization this past year with our recent branding.
Right, exactly. Now, when we talk about partnerships and the food bank, you got a lot of them. Okay. In fact, I'm not sure if there's any organization you folks don't touch base. But talk a little bit about different companies, whether they're large or small, doing their own food drives. And I know that's something that you help them with. Talk about that, Julie.
Yes, we do corporate partnerships with food drives, something big like our summer food drive and our holiday food drive. The summer food drive's coming up, and our biggest partner is Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions. And throughout the community, at the same time, many companies are doing their own food drives. You all have seen our famous red barrels.
Yes.
And that food comes in pretty much all year long. But during the summertime, we do a very big push with some advertisements and digital advertisements to get everyone involved as a community for those summer months. It can be a small company. Real estate offices do a fabulous job with those food drives. Really big companies will have competitions between all their different departments. One red food barrel basically gives us 200 pounds of food. So the more red barrels we get filled up during that time, the more food we have to keep servicing all of the people that need our food. So really fun to do these big food drives and then get the companies and community involved with their own individual food drives too.
Yeah, we used to work with you very closely when I was at the Union Tribune, and it had a huge major food drive with you folks. I think probably 2010.
Yeah.
And then of course we continued it and then had it, at the paper. And then when I tell people, I said, I don't care if you're a vacuum repair shop, you can stick out a red barrel and people can throw stuff. Every bit of it is just so critical. And the great thing is you guys manage it beautifully. And I'll say this, and thank you for doing that. Because some people are going, I can't manage this thing. No, they're going to bring the barrel. They're going to go pick up the barrel. They're going to help advertise it. And then we're going to benefit from that area. We're chatting with David Perez. He's the North County General Manager of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, joined by his colleague, Julie Moore, Director of Corporate Partnerships for the food bank. We talked about the backpack program. And do you hear from the schools that this has been so good? Because now these kids are getting some meals. And we know, it's challenging. Sometimes they go hungry on the weekends, because they get their food. And the only time maybe they'll get some nutritious food is Monday through Friday. And then summer, all bets are off except for what you're doing. But do you hear from the teachers that this is what is great? Because I've noticed some of the kids, when you're hungry, there's discipline problems, there's X, Y, and Z. There's a big difference in them when they're fed. Do you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely spoken to many coordinators and teachers at the school. And the students look forward to getting those bags of food on that Friday. It also helps too with attendance because they're going to show up to school to make sure that they get that food. I've also seen the kids I've seen the faces when they've received those bags of food and can't wait and just start ripping them open right there. And so it's definitely something that we're going to continue to provide to the elementary school students here in San Diego.
Right. When we come back from break, let's talk a little about, is there a shortage? You can never have too much food, I imagine, or too many volunteers in that aspect of it. And, with some, maybe some interesting things, I'll leave it the word interesting, coming out of D.C., this is not the time to be cutting any of this. This is the time to be ramping up this type of stuff. So think about what our listeners can do to support your efforts on that as well. And then we'll also come back and talk about the May 3rd Gala and get some more interest. Not sure if there's still some corporate sponsorship opportunities there. Knowing Julie's role, there's never enough sponsorships.
Right.
When we come back with Julie Moore, Director of Corporate Partnerships for the Jacobson Cushman San Diego Food Bank, joined by her colleague, David Perez, North County General Manager. I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We are now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Mission Fed, 6 decades of just great things, working with food insecurity. They're a big supporter of the food bank, financial literacy, art, and everything in between. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just so pleased to have back in for many a return appearance, and we can't have these guys on enough, to be honest with you. The Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, David Perez, North County General Manager, joined by his colleague Julie Moore, Director of Corporate Partnerships. Right before break, we were just talking about the nutrition insecurity and all this, and some disturbing. I'll go from interesting to disturbing. How about that? Signs that there may be some cuts to national food banks and all that business. This is not the time to do that. Talk about that, David.
Definitely food insecurity has grown in the last, few years. I do want to point out that our Food for Kids backpack program is funded by donors and supporters, so we definitely encourage everyone to support this program. You are helping us fulfill those commitments to those students and those schools who are on our program.
Right. And on the website, I know people want to donate. There's things that here's what we need, and here's some things that we really don't need. So, I know your heart's there, but people will be able to find out what they can donate, what they can drop off. Do they drop off right to your Miramar, space, or do the people come and pick them up? Obviously, when they do the drives at their own business, you guys will manage that.
They can drop off at our warehouses. Yeah. What we do recommend is that they go onto our website, right, San Diego foodbank.org, because we do list all of the community food drives, so where all the red barrels are out in the community all the time, so they can find a location that's closer to them to drop off in a red barrel. Obviously, we take online donations, and it's very easy to donate that way as well. And, you were talking about the changes and what we might be seeing in the future with the cuts to the food that's coming our way. We already have experienced that.
Wow.
We have known from the USDA that some truckloads will not be coming in. So what we will do is keep the food going out. So if that means we may need to purchase more of our own food to keep it going out to the people that need it. So now more than ever, we need the donations. You also asked about how the community can support just advocacy in general. One of our main pillars of our mission is to be advocates for the hungry or for the hunger-related issues. And again, on our website, you can find ways to contact your elected officials as well and get your own voice to the people that are representing you back in Washington to hear what you have to say about how to support people that need food.
There are many important causes in our country. There's no question. I can't think of one more important than making sure we try to alleviate as much as possible food insecurity, because so many things come from that. Can you work and be a great worker if you have not food in your belly? No. Could you be a great student? Absolutely not. Could you be a good parent? Everything is tied to your health and driven by the energy through food. Now, that sounds obvious, but for those folks who are not food insecure, they don't get it. So we can't amplify that enough. Big Gala coming up on May the 3rd. How do people register? Just go right to your website?
Yep.
Okay. Are you looking for sponsors?
We are. We still have some sponsorships available, but again, we can customize that package. If a corporation or individual wants to give us money to support the Food for Kids backpack program and the Gala, we'll figure out a way to do that. We do still have tickets available. So definitely just on our website underneath the events, you can see the 2025 Gala and just go right in there and you can purchase tickets online and make your meal choice.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun event. I can speak from a personal experience on that. There's a lot of great silent auction. There's a great, live auction. At least I'm assuming you're doing live auction again, right? Exactly. So everyone's in a good mood. Everybody is bouncing around. The chefs in there are phenomenal, preparing everything on this, and really do encourage people. And if you can't go, there's other ways, to donate as well. I'll swing around and start with you on this, Julie. What other comments? What can we do besides going to the Gala, donating money, getting involved with the kids' backpack program? What else can we do?
Lots of volunteer opportunities, not only at our Miramar and Vista warehouses, but also out into the community where we're doing food distributions. All those different shifts can be found online on our volunteer. We have lots of upcoming events. So Stamp Out Hunger, the 33rd annual Stamp Out Hunger with the USPS Postal Service coming up on May 10th. So put your food out. Your postal worker will pick it up on May 10th. Is there a certain type of food? Obviously, you don't want to have eggs in there. Yes,
cooked,
good point. Good point. Shelf-stable food. Canned items are good. Oatmeal, cereals. We try, as David mentioned, we do focus a lot on nutrition.
Correct.
And we have a nutrition initiative, and that is to reduce overly sugary. So we're looking for the healthy choices that you can find at the store. So peanut butter and other nut butters to provide protein. And then shelf-stable canned goods and boxed goods.
Right. So what other events do you have coming up?
We've got a partnership with the fair this year, the San Diego County Fair. We had worked with them many, many years ago, and so it's a refreshed partnership. We're super excited. We're going to be part of the Farm to You exhibit in the O'Brien Hall. We're just there to, again, one of our pillars of our mission is to educate about hunger issues that we face here in San Diego. So we're really focusing on educating San Diego and the San Diego fairgoers on what does hunger look like in our community. How people are astonished when it's 400,000 people a month that we are helping on average here in San Diego County. So really focusing on that message and working with the fair. That it's agricultural, it's local food in California. Farmers are going to be talking about where to buy their food and what kind of food they produce and stays right here in San Diego. Chefs are going to be doing cooking demonstrations. Of course, San Diego's very well known for its beer, so there'll be some beer tasting, and then California is known for its wine. So just really talking about all the different types of food, and then how the food bank helps to close that loop with reducing food waste and being conscious of what we're purchasing ourselves, because there are people that are hungry and need it. So we're really educating about the faces of hunger throughout San Diego County.
Yeah, and what's also, now, do people get a discount if they bring in food to the fair?
And to be determined.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that, when we were involved with the food bank, we being the Union Tribune at the time many years ago, whether it was the Blues Fest that they used to happen up in North Embarcadero, do X, Y, and Z. Encourages people to bring some things. We did that when we were presenting sponsor of the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
Bring something down over there, and so forth on it. So maybe we'll see. Maybe
we might do it. We have the summer food drive going on at the same time, that kicks off the same time as the fair does, with Albertsons, who's also a partner with the San Diego County Fair.
Right.
So
longtime partner.
There may be some things there, because Albertsons sells and Vons and Pavilion sells the tickets to the fair. So drop off your donations at Albertsons and the Red Barrel at the Albertsons stores and Vons stores and Pavilion stores, and buy your fair tickets at the same time.
That sounds good. David, any final comments?
No, I just appreciate the support that you're giving us in the platform. Food insecurity is a real thing here in San Diego, and what you can do to support is definitely volunteer, donate. You're helping us fulfill the commitment that we have to these students. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think, the point we always make, especially when it comes to, the food drives and all that, and you hear the big push right around Thanksgiving, and it goes, through the year. I go, well, food insecurity doesn't know a date. It could be March 25th, June 11th, November 23rd. It's, 24/7, 365. And everyone should have that in mind. And what I love about the food bank, and I'm not sure what the calculus is now. Back in the day, we used to work with them. It used to be $1 gave 5 meals. I know with inflation, that's not quite the same anymore. That said, though, one of the great things about contributing to the food bank, your dollar is going to contribute to X, on that. So I think it's certainly a great use of people's time and money as well. Wishing you nothing but great success at the Gala. And we know we'll have you folks back on later in the year. We can't really talk about enough of the great things you're doing. Julie Moore, thank you so much. David Perez, good luck moving forward.
Thank you so much.
We do appreciate you and this podcast, and we always have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun.
Yep.
Say hi to Casey for us.
We will.
As well. We'll look forward to having his smiling face back on. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by the phenomenal people of Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.